Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. More Birthright here for you as we continue on. And today we're taking a look at the Lamia's actual realm. Now we've covered the Anshe before and part of the realm, but this is the official entry from Cities of the Sun. So let's take a look. It's a shorter one, but again, we've covered the monster itself in detail. So Chaotic Evil, not available for PCs as you would expect. Now it is an actual organized realm. We have different province levels there, mainly some 3s, a couple 1s, a couple 2s, and a couple 3s, really. She's obviously got all the law there. Temples are essentially under one ruler as well, one leader, we should say. The guild activity is a little bit more spread out, and then the sources are all under one person's control as well. So, once called Besaim, the central Birthright domain of the Lamia, is a land of brooding forests and rugged mountains east of Kozlovny. Settled almost 600 years ago by Kanasi pioneers from the city-state of Medici, Besaim had the misfortune to fall under the control of a powerful Anshe. For some 5 centuries now, the Lamia has held the land through vicious warfare and vile deception. An Anshe blood ability gives her a charm aura, essentially, which we've covered. So, her charmed guards and soldiers control the constabulary and bureaucracy of the land. In fact, about a quarter of all the realm's men have fallen to the Anshe's inherent charm power at one point or another, and they serve her unswervingly. However, her cruel vanity has bred a resentful populace overall, though. So and that's one thing that makes her particularly deadly too, not just her actual abilities and just, like taking her on one-on-one, but she's essentially got an army of loyal followers built in here. Essentially extremely loyal through that, but again, there is a general resentment amongst the populace. Now, the temples, the Medician way of Avani still survives here, but the Lamia's power to charm important churchmen has altered the temple structure drastically in recent centuries. Powerful women, such as High Priestess Iokas Narvade, level 6 priestess and chaotic good with a solid bloodline, have replaced men in the ranks, blending the worship of Avani with the aim of destroying the abomination, but tough to do with her actual abilities again, but pretty resistant, I'd say, overall to like outside attacks, unless it was like a major effort. But you do have sort of an inbuilt resistance here in the religion. Guild activity. The Grodny Koster of Kozlovny does have contacts within the Lamia's realm. However, the most important merchants in the domain, caught by her charm, serve the Anshe through the Besaim Guild. Right, so she basically has her own custom, super loyal police force. Temples, she's had some influence there, and she's essentially got the local guild on her side, again, all through this powerful charm ability. She doesn't have to necessarily be an outright combat monster when you can just charm your opposition into doing what you want. She's also charmed, as if that wasn't all enough, right? She's charmed a powerful true wizard named Dashid the Astronomer, pretty cool name there, who controls sources here and in Ruanak, actually. So, the regent, Keta Pachaya, now the Anshe known as Lamia, came to Besaim soon after her transformation and quickly brought the entire state under her dominion. At first, ruling from behind the scenes, she eventually discarded her charade and proclaimed herself queen. While she enjoys luring traveling males to her realm, she seems uninterested in acquiring territory. Fortunate for all the neighbors, but attacking her again just is wrought with danger, not just her raw abilities, but again, she can just basically charm anybody foolish enough to really even go against her. Why bother fighting her when she can just snap her fingers essentially, and you just become sort of a sycophant. Other important NPCs, she does surround herself with hundreds of fanatic warriors who willingly serve her to their deaths, such as the strength of her enchantment ability. The most valuable include her Voss captain of the guards, Pyotr Borchevsky, level 9 fighter, pretty potent and chaotic evil. Her palace's major domo, wizened old Jamal El Numir, in charge of daily government affairs, and the wizard Dashid, as we've mentioned. And again, a level 11 wizard is nothing to sneeze at, who uses his potent arsenal of spells as she commands, basically. So she has a puppet wizard who has access to realm spells and is a high-level caster regardless, so high-level magic there. In addition, hundreds of town leaders and merchants also serve the main regent, and she brings them before her, charms them, and then basically returns them to her or to their affairs. So basically just creates an army of puppets, right, that does everything she wants. Now, she can't abide the sight of another woman and views any pretty girl as a potential rival and likely will dispose of them. Now, the domain seems a realm of modest prosperity. Life isn't always pleasant here. Her slaves resort to extortion and terrorism if they encounter even the slightest resistance to her irrational edicts. She concerns herself more with wealth and power than with her subjects, and basically often levies very crushing taxes to fund her personal vanity projects, such as monuments to herself, expensive trappings for her court, other things like that. Maybe even a ballroom. Who knows? The common people generally feel resigned to their lot. They know the Lamia only by rumors and secondhand stories, and all their Ajazada and civic leaders insist nothing is wrong. As the Lamia herself doesn't kill locals often or cause ruin in the domain, commoners seem somewhat willing to live under her rule. So yeah, the people really don't necessarily understand the actual danger they're in because they don't really see her, and those that would, right, she can just easily charm them and basically get them to either serve or kind of forget too. The lords of the long-gone city-state of Medici raised the great castle Craven Gate to watch the pass of the same name that led through the high vale of Dwarves Deeping in Kozlovny to the immediate west. The kings of Besiam claimed this stronghold when they settled the land, and basically the Lamias lived there as long as she has reigned. So again, much more info in the actual Lamia entry when we covered that earlier in Blood Enemies, but again, just get a little bit of extra insight into the realm itself and how the people operate. Let us know, guys, if you have ventured into the Lamia's domain, how you would incorporate that in your campaigns and how that's gone. If you have, hit us up in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. And don't forget, guys, support us over on Patreon. All the support there really helps. Thanks for watching.